All right, so let me just try to quickly break down what I did yesterday in terms of this crazy piece of code that I've put together. This is Meshtastic AI right here, all this Python scripts. This was mostly generated using AI. I do have a moderate understanding of Python and, can read it pretty easily. But don't ask me to write this crap. It's like, thank you, OpenAI and Llama models for helping me develop this. But basically the way this works is I've got a little tiny, that you can get these for $60. Okay, like this is not by any means a super powerful, crazy language model machine. This one is literally just a computer that we had lying around in one of our houses in France. And I just brought it back to the States and I was just like, I'm going to utilize this for some LLM work stuff, right? But then I got into Meshtastic about, I don't know, 3 weeks ago or something like that. And I'm digging the hell out of this technology, obviously. So I wanted to figure out, well, hey, has anybody made it so that this guy can talk to a language model running on LMStudio or something like that for offline emergency data retrieval? Like, gosh, I don't know how to start a campfire, right? Or, how do I cook this or this, that, or the other? And you have no internet. This solves that problem. Because basically what's happening here is this machine is running a copy of LMStudio, right? My code basically reads the serial output from this over USB. So this is the node is connected to the Meshtastic network via USB. This node is a member of, whatever channels that I set it to. Now, the way that it works is there's two different ways that the thing looks for messages. One is direct messages. If a message is sent directly to the node, it identifies it by its node ID number, decodes it, and then sends that data to the language model running here inside of LMStudio. Okay, so it basically just forwards the prompt into LMStudio. Then LMStudio does its magic. I'm using like a 700 megabyte, 800 megabyte model right now. This is Llama 3.2, the 1B instruct uncensored. This model is amazing for its size, and it literally runs plenty fast on here, especially given the fact that you're kind of slowed down by the Meshtastic network in general, so you don't really need something that's able to crank out super fast responses. It can be a $60 little Lenovo off-lease office PC like this with an i5 or an i7 and it will, at 5th generation, it'll crank it out just fine. That's what this thing is. But basically, once LMStudio generates the response, it then puts this response back into my code, right, which will be running in the terminal here, right? And it'll basically direct the reply to the correct index of the channel or to the correct node ID number, so that depending on who sent it, they'll get the response directly, or it'll go back to the channel only if a / command is used. So we have / commands like help and like emergency, which integrates with SMS and email to be able to send a text message with your GPS location and everything else. So if you're off grid and you have something like this that is connected to the internet, like say, few miles away, 10 miles away, you can still send an emergency ping to this across a vast different distance. And it will, using this machine, send your location data to a preset text message number. That's a really big deal. That's something that I don't think has really been properly implemented in terms of Meshtastic, and that might actually solve some interesting issues in regards to the use case of the technology in the first place. And again, managed to develop this in all 12 hours yesterday, thanks to AI. So, but yeah, long story short, that's pretty much what it does. It receives messages, brings it in through serial, puts it into LMStudio with the code, gets it back from LMStudio, spits it back into the radio, and sends it back out to the person who sent it or to the channel that it came from. That's literally it. All of this information is now up on my GitHub, which I have pretty much put together here. So you have, on GitHub, you've got Meshtastic AI, right? And it's got all the fun details on how it works and how to install it and everything else. And then you got your first alpha release here on the main page here. You've got under releases, you've got my first version available to you right here. Okay, so have fun with this stuff. I developed this in such a short period of time, and I did it in my RV, just chilling here at my table. So I would love some help with developing this further. If there's anybody out there that wants to jump on board, please let me know. I am not going to be able to actively develop this. I'm sure that there are lots of people out there who are going to want to jump on this. So be easy, guys.